I think because I was encouraged and supported growing up, when I started working as a professional illustrator, I had the confidence to meet challenges, things that are sort of out of my comfort zone. When I was asked to, when I met an editor, a children's book editor for the first time, I showed them my portfolio and I thought, oh, I'll get a manuscript and I'll illustrate it, but the editor asked me if I had any story ideas. And I had no picture book ideas whatsoever, but I told them, I do have a storybook idea. It's at home, and I'll write it up, and I'll come back in a couple of weeks and I'll show it to you. So I went home and I put this whole thing together, and I went to bookstores and looked at books and counted the pages and measured them and all that to figure out how these books were put together. So I came back a few weeks later, showed him my manuscript and my little book dummy, and I got a contract for my first book. But I met that challenge with the word yes. And the same thing happened with television. I had an idea for a series of picture books, but I hadn't really been thinking about television until I met some people at Nickelodeon, and they asked me, do you have any ideas for a television show? And I said, I do. In fact, I do. It's at home. I got to go get it. So within, a couple of months, I was making a pilot for my television show, Oswald. So I try to meet these different challenges. I mean, I may not know how to do them exactly, but I know I'll figure it out eventually. One of my books was optioned as a feature film, and the studio asked me if I can write the first draft of the screenplay, and I had never written a screenplay before in my life. So I went and I researched it. I read a lot of screenplays. I read a book about story structure and how to write a screenplay, and I wrote the screenplay. And it's been rewritten a few times, but I had said yes to that challenge as well. My first book was called Big Brother Mike. It was published in 1993, and it was an easy story for me to write because it was a story about me and my brother. I have an older brother. And so the story was about these two brothers who don't quite get along, and then something in the story happens where they do get along. And it was a very simple story, but it was such a lesson in writing for me. And I really enjoyed it. And then after I completed that book, I wanted more. I wanted to do more, because here is an arena where I can create all the images, I can write the story myself, I can cast it, I can do everything. And so that was something that I hadn't experienced before. I had been doing work for magazines, and I'd been doing sort of these individual images. So here was an opportunity for me to tell a full-blown story and really lavish it with illustration. So it was really exciting. And since 1993, I have published 54 books. So it's a lot of books, but I really enjoy it.